Roberto, welcome back to New Mexico in Focus. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So you cover everything for the Albuquerque Journal: crime, sports, civic events. How long have you been covering the U.S.-Mexico border?
I've been covering the border for about 20 years, 2 decades, started in 2000.
And what have you seen change the most over that time?
I think, in those days, in the first 10 years that I covered immigration, it was really hard to get somebody to actually witness them crossing. It was really hard to find something like that in the desert. You had to find very strategic points along the border, especially around New Mexico. But today, with this asylum crisis, if you could call it, it's everywhere. You see them everywhere. Their attitudes, perspectives are changing, and obviously everyone's just trying to come across. Whereas before, you also saw a lot of Mexican immigrants coming, and today you hardly ever see any. They're mainly just from Central America, Cuba, Haiti, and northern South America. So big shift there.
Can you talk a little bit about that and kind of why those changes are happening and how that changes what's happening right along the border?
So the Central Americans, for instance, they're really starting to migrate, mainly because of all that violence that's happening, the gang violence. And I think that's the number one reason for them coming across. Here's a perfect example. Family from Honduras, unaccompanied minor from Central America. This is what you're seeing. They don't have an option to stay and maybe hopefully things get better through diplomacy. They either have to leave or either join an organization, crime organization. So it's kind of hard, and that's what I'm seeing more along the border. That's the biggest change. Everyone that's coming here, they're coming because they're running away from something. Yes, they obviously want a job, but the difference now is survival. It's not that they're looking for the American dream or a better way of life. The number one reason is survival. And that is the biggest change from now, since when I started working. Everyone I spoke to in the first 5 or 10 years of covering the border, it was always about, well, I have family in the States. I'm going to go work there. I'm just, trying to look for my American dream. And today, there's no such thing. Now I just want to be alive.
So
big difference.
There's a lot of political rhetoric in the United States, in the state, about a security crisis. But what you're talking about sounds to me like a humanitarian crisis.
It is a humanitarian crisis. Not only are Central Americans running away, but also one of the biggest factors that is influencing this crime wave in Central America is the cartels that are in Mexico. They're starting to branch out throughout Central America. So now you're fighting gangs and you're also fighting the cartels. And then, of course, if people do the research, the cartels are being, I wouldn't say funded, but they're being given arms that are almost strictly coming from the United States. And as they're trying to make human smuggling a business, they're branching out into El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala. That is just a double whammy, if you will. But recently I was in Juarez at a immigrant shelter, and I noticed another factor that's happening, and recently, and that's climate change. People can no longer farm. I met a gentleman from Honduras who lost all his crops. There was a natural disaster, a hurricane, but also in talking to people from Guatemala, they don't get the rains like they used to. They can't harvest coffee. So when you combine that with gang warfare, you only have one choice. You got to come up north. And again, that's just survival.
So one of the things in your images always that I always wonder about is how people who are afraid for their lives, afraid of getting caught, how do you take these images? How do you meet people and photograph them?
You know, it's I have this connection with people, I guess, that you know, I'm an immigrant myself, and I think I understand what they're going through. And I give them space. I give them the time to not feel, you know, threatened by me or my cameras. I take the time to talk to them. And a lot of the times, they want to be heard. If you take the time to listen for 5 minutes, to them, it's like a big relief, and I sense that. And, you know, you want to photograph folks in a very humanizing way also. And so I strive to do that. But yeah, for some reason I have had this connection with folks, and, you know, I understand what they're going through. You know, I'm an immigrant myself. So I think that also plays a big part. I don't just point cameras and shoot whenever I want. It's a very meticulous process, very slow, but it can be rewarding at times. And again, we're telling their story.
So the border is such an important part of New Mexico, but for those of us, like we're sitting here in Albuquerque, it can sometimes feel like a distant place.
Yes.
What do you wish that all New Mexicans better understood about the border itself and what's happening right now, Alon?
You know, I think I look at the border as the ocean, like high tide, low tide. When the border is like the high tide, coming in and going back, and low tide. But it also it's a wonderful place, and it doesn't have to be marred by violence and people trying to come across. These are two nations that are trying to coexist, and it's not. We look at it as almost like a black and white issue too. Like, look, they think that just because you live on the other side, you want to come over here, and that's not the issue. If given a choice, most people would not come here. You know, you don't want to be separated, and I think separated from your family, and people, I think, tend to forget that. Nobody's trying to take your job. Nobody's trying to take advantage of the system. You know, survival is one thing, but everyone has the right to a better life. And the border just doesn't, it should not represent just death, destruction, separation of families. It's a lot more complicated than that. But it's a strange part of our culture, I guess, you know, and people don't really understand that just because you live on the other side of this fence now, like, you shouldn't have to stay on that side, and I don't have to stay on this side. We can join hands, join ideas, and coexist in a better way, share all these experiences. It's a complicated issue, but it's also a beautiful area. It is an amazing area where so many things happen. And then, like in this photo, these are all men from Mexico who are trying to come across the border and who are leaving their families. And this is just in a border town across from New Mexico. This is in a town called Las Chepas, which is about 15 miles west of Columbus, New Mexico. And this is the day where they're trying to come across. And every time I spoke to them, the whole time they wanted to talk about was their families, their kids. Everyone has photos of their kids. And, you know, the border is just this place also where stories are being told by them, by me, by so many others.
So when political leaders say things like, don't come here, it sounds to me like for me, like I wouldn't want to have to leave my home and my family.
Well, I think it's easy to say that from being here in the U.S., but unless we address the issues, the root issues of why people are coming, save your breath. This is going to continue. And unless we help these countries combat gang activity and narco activity, this is going to continue. This has no end in sight. And in fact, now that you're adding climate change, I think it's going to increase. Mm-hmm. So I fear for what's going to happen. But with the increase of numbers coming across, I think we still paint everybody with the same brush, you know, and I don't like that.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to mention something about this image. This is what the U.S.-Mexico border looked like back in around 2005. This is where the Trump Wall was built. It was near Johnson Farms in New Mexico. But back in those days, this is what the border looked like. And these gentlemen are waiting for to get darker so they can come across. And none of them want to stick around this area. They have families in California, Florida, all these other places.
We were down at the border almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, and now the wall is 30 feet tall,
Oh, yeah.
steel bollards. How has that changed how people...
Well, it is more difficult to cross in this area. So what it's doing, especially in the boot heel of New Mexico, the most southwest corner of our state, is pushing everyone towards the Chiricahua Mountains along the Arizona-New Mexico border. And that terrain is treacherous. And there are also areas along New Mexico, like the Peloncillo Mountains, that due to geographical constraints, you couldn't build the wall over that, but it's forcing all these immigrants to take a more dangerous trek, if you will. But also, now you're grouping immigrants who want to come for a better life or, you know, just to survive, and you're grouping them with drug smugglers, because those are the preferred routes for the cartels, the Peloncillo Mountains and the Chiricahua Mountains. But also nature, habitats, they're being destroyed. Species are not being able to cross back and forth. So that's something that gets lost in this whole talk. And I think that's another thing that we need to address.
So how is New Mexico's shared border with Mexico a little bit different from, say, policies or how migrants are treated than in, say, Texas or Arizona or California? Are we different?
I mean, I think we're different in the sense that we don't have all the options that people have, especially along Arizona and Texas. When you cross into New Mexico, you're often met by ranchers who are very anti-immigrant. So there is another obstacle. You have boundaries by the mountains, ranchers who are against immigration, and you're more in an open area. You can't hide. You don't have an urban environment to hide in, like you would in maybe El Paso, let's say, or somewhere in Nogales out of Arizona. So you're kind of sitting duck when you come through New Mexico. And I think a lot of coyotes, human smugglers, promise that they are going to take immigrants across Texas or Arizona, and a lot of these immigrants couldn't tell the difference. And because it's easier for smugglers to drop them off in New Mexico, this is what they end up doing. And most people that are dropped off in New Mexico are caught, whereas you can blend in other parts. So it's a lot more difficult. And so the numbers show it also. You know, Texas is way ahead, Arizona is way ahead.
So 20 years of storytelling along the border, meeting countless people over that time. What do you wish that New Mexicans better understood about the challenges that these people and these families face every day?
So, you know, I often look at the kids, the youth who come with their parents, and a lot of times the one thing that sticks out in my mind is like, especially with the kids, like that childhood is just being lost. You have no roots that you can put into the ground, and a lot of their childhood is being lost. And I wish some people were more compassionate, people who could make a difference. And no mother, no parents should have to be separated from their kids. But it is such a treacherous journey. I'll take a look at the Cubans, for instance. The folks that I've talked to in Ciudad Juarez across El Paso, for them, for some, it's taken them a year and a half just to get to the northern border. And they get separated along the way. And so how do you reunite that? It's just an incredible journey that they take. And, I don't know that if I had a kid that I would take that chance. But I see a lot of women who have failed to come across, but when they see that their kid may have a chance, they're willing to risk that, even if for them means going back. But their kids can go on and maybe find a better life.
Roberto, thank you so much for the work that you do and the stories that you tell, and for being here with me today.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate that. And thank you for talking about this matter, which is so important and dear to me.
Thanks.
Thank you.